The fluorescent lights hum faintly inside Mitchell's Market, a small brick-front store tucked on the edge of a Texas two-lane highway. The place smells of coffee, dust, and motor oil from the mechanic shop next door. Sarah Mitchell leans against the counter, arms folded, watching the last of the day's sunlight fade through the windows. She's in her mid-40s, hair pulled back in a nonsense braid, posture straight without even thinking about it. Old habits die hard when you've worn the tan beret of the US Army Rangers. But here, no one sees a ranger. They just see the woman who runs the store. And for Sarah, that's the way she prefers it. Emily Carter, barely 17, counts the cash register with clumsy fingers. A junior in high school, she works evenings at the market after cheer practice. She glances up nervously. Ms. Mitchell, you ever get tired of it? Just the quiet. Sarah chuckles, dry and low. Quiet's a luxury, kid. Don't take it for granted. Her eyes drift to the corner, where a rifle case rests half hidden beneath a tarp of cleaning supplies. She hasn't opened it in years, doesn't want to. Every time she thinks about that rifle, memories come flooding back moonless nights. In Afghanistan, the acrid bite of cordite, the smell of blood in dust. Outside, the night deepens. The highway is empty except for the distant drone of cicadas. Emily hums along to a pop song playing faintly over the store speakers. It's ordinary, safe, and then headlights slash across the parking lot. Tires screech. A battered pickup truck fishtails to a stop, engine revving hard. The music cuts, replaced by the slam of truck doors and the crunch of boots on gravel. Sarah's stomach tightens instantly. That sound urgent, sloppy, aggressive flips a switch she can't shut off. Her pulse slows instead of quickening, senses widening like a lens, focusing in combat. Contact imminent. Evaluate, anticipate, Ms. Mitchell, Emily whispers, wide-eyed, before Sarah can answer, the front door blasts open. 3 men storm in, masks pulled tight, shotguns and pistols raised. One fires a round into the ceiling, plaster dust rains down. The boom rattles the windows. Emily screams, hands where we can see 'em. One barks, voice muffled by cloth dot. Sarah raises her hands slowly, palms out. Her face stays calm, unreadable, the way she learned in interrogation resistance training. Inside, her mind calculates. 3 visible threats. Weapons poorly maintained. Formation loose. Aggression compensating for fear. But she doesn't move. Not yet. Emily trembles beside her, frozen hands barely lifting above the counter. The robbers laugh. Don't wet yourself, princess, one sneers. He waves the muzzle of his pistol. Across the shelves of chips and canned goods. Easiest payday we'll ever have. The leader, tall and broad-shouldered, keeps his shotgun trained squarely on Sarah. He studies her with a predator's arrogance. Lady, you look calm for someone staring down a 12-gauge. Sarah meets his eyes without flinching. This isn't my first rodeo. He smirks, misreading her tone as bluff. Well, it'll be your last if you try anything. Her jaw tightens. She wants to move. Muscle memory screams at her to strike, disarm, dominate. But Emily's presence locks her down. Civilian safety takes priority, always. She needs time, positioning, opportunity. One of the masked men stomps toward the back office, rifling through. Shelves. Boss, there's a locked cabinet here. Sarah's heart skips. That cabinet is 3 feet from the rifle case. She forces her expression flat, but her eyes flick briefly toward the door. The leader doesn't notice, but the camera of our story does, lingering as the lens pans low past the fallen dust and scattered candy, sliding toward that back room. The metal latch of the rifle case gleams faintly in the dark. The robbers bark orders, herding Sarah and Emily toward the register. The shotgun muzzle digs into Sarah's ribs. She feels the cold steel, but it's not fear, she feels its assessment. Trigger discipline, sloppy, he's nervous. Could take him, but the crossfire would catch Emily. Emily's voice cracks. Please, just take the money. The men laugh, one kicking over a display rack of chips. Damn right we will. Sarah keeps her breathing steady. Patience, Ranger. Wait for the break. Let them think you're weak. But her eyes, calm and unblinking, flick once more to the back room. The rifle case waits, silent and unseen. The barrel of the shotgun digs into Sarah Mitchell's ribs. Cold steel, heavy pressure. She doesn't flinch. The three masked robbers yell over each other, voices jagged with adrenaline. Move your ass. One shouts, pistol waving wild arcs through the air. Another slams a fist onto the counter, sending a jar of beef jerky tumbling. The leader barks. Louder, shotgun steady, but posture sloppy. Money, now, or the old lady bleeds. The words echo, sharp and ugly. Emily gasps, hands trembling above the register. Her knuckles whiten as she fumbles with the cash tray. Tears prick her eyes. Sarah leans just enough to whisper, voice calm, steady, stripped of fear. Breathe. In through your nose, hold, out through your mouth. You're fine, I've got you. Emily blinks. She hears authority in that tone, not pleading. Something practiced, something soldier strong. Her hands stop shaking for the moment. The robbers laugh. Old lady shopkeep, huh? Bet you never had a gun in your life. The second man snorts, pistol jerking toward Sarah. Bet she's never even thrown a punch. Sarah keeps her hands raised, shoulders loose, but her mind is a machine in motion. 3 shooters, 1 shotgun, 2 handguns. Stance is weak, weight on their heels, no muzzle discipline. Amateurs. She catalogues each detail like a sniper setting. Windage and elevation. Left robber, right-handed, keeps scratching his mask. Likely nervous. Shotgun man, leader, but trigger finger, too tight liable, too flinch fire. Pistol man, constantly shifting weight, scanning, not focusing. Weak link, they're not a unit. No chain of command, no discipline. They think loud voices make them wolves. A new voice cuts through. The leader snarls, hurry it up, girl, or we paint this counter with your boss. Emily's breath hitches again. Her pulse hammers in her ears. She glances at Sarah, silently pleading. Sarah doesn't move her head, but her voice lowers an octave steady, even. You're okay. Focus on the task. Keep your breathing even. Eyes forward, no sudden moves. Those are Ranger calming cues words she used in Kandahar when her sniper team's spotter froze under incoming mortar fire. She remembers crouching behind shattered stone, dust stinging her eyes, whispering almost the same lines to a 19-year-old private shaking in fear. That boy survived because he listened. And Emily will too. Sarah's lips twitch. If only you knew. Inside her, 2 decades of combat service uncoil like a serpent. Ranger school, Afghanistan. Sniper, Overwatch on broken rooftops. She commanded a small team 6 soldiers, each one leaning on her calm. When the world fell apart, she's led men through kill zones where the air buzzed with incoming rounds. The robbers don't hear the whisper. They're too busy mocking. You see her face. She's terrified. The pistol man cackles. I could sneeze and she'd drop dead from shock. Compared to that, 3 sloppy criminals with dollar store masks don't even register as true predators. The leader slams the butt of his shotgun onto the counter, inches from Emily's hand. She flinches, choking back a cry. Faster, he roars. Sarah studies his grip. Thumb forward, too high on the guard. He's holding the weapon like it's just another tool, not a lifeline. One sharp move and she could twist it free, but the other 2 would start shooting. Not yet. Patience is survival. Her heart rate slows, not speeds slows. Combat discipline kicks in. She breathes through her nose, steady rhythm. She's back. On the rooftop in Kandahar, her scope crosshairs floating. Steady on an insurgent's chest while tracers whip overhead. I've walked men through chaos before. I can walk myself through this. Emily glances at her again. Sarah gives her a barely perceptible nod. That nod says, I'm still in control. The pistol man scoffs. Hey boss, you sure this is worth it? I mean, look at her. What's she gonna do? Bake us cookies? This is too easy. The leader chuckles. Exactly. Quick grab, quick cash, we're ghosts. He doesn't notice Sarah's eyes flicker toward the back room. The camera of this moment catches at the faint glint of a rifle. Case under a tarp. The audience sees it, though the robbers don't. A ghost from Sarah's past. Waiting dot, mini dash cliffhanger. The pistol man suddenly swings his weapon toward Emily. I don't trust her. She's too jumpy. Maybe I ought to stand down. The leader barks, smacking his arm. We keep them alive. No bodies tonight. We're not drawing heat. Sarah exhales slowly, relief buried under calculation. That confirms it. They're not killers by nature, just punks chasing easy money. They'll hesitate. Hesitation is my weapon. The leader leans close, eyes narrowing at Sarah. You're awful calm for a cashier. What's your deal? Sarah holds his gaze. Inside, memories flash night raids, calling shots over the radio. Her sniper team trusting her judgment under fire. She almost smiles. I've had worse days. He laughs, mistaking her poise for bravado. Keep talking, Grandma. Maybe I'll believe you, but the audience knows. This isn't bluff. This is a ranger's composure. The camera pulls back, showing the chaos. Emily, pale and trembling. The robbers swaggering, weapons loose, laughter filling the aisles. And in the center, Sarah Mitchell, calm, unblinking, mind ticking through angles, distances, lines of fire. She's not just surviving. She's assessing, calculating, waiting, and as her eyes drift one last time toward the back room, the narration edges into revelation. This is no ordinary store clerk. This woman once commanded Ranger sniper teams in Kandahar. She has stared down mortar fire, led soldiers through kill zones, and walked away with every man in her team alive. And these robbers? They just made the worst mistake of their lives. Gunfire. Cracks in the distance. Not in Texas, not in the convenience store. In Sarah Mitchell's mind, the sound drags her backward across years and continents, straight into the dust-choked valleys of Kandahar province. The present fades the robbers. Gears, Emily's trembling hands, the fluorescent lights overhead. Instead, Sarah is 29 again, clad in full battle rattle, M4 across her chest. Sniper rifle strapped tight across her back. The air is blistering. 110 degrees, heat shimmering above the rocky ridgelines. fine dust cakes. Her lips, the smell is acrid burned cordite, diesel fumes, sweat. Her platoon is pinned. Rounds whip overhead with the distinct snap of supersonic travel. Her rangers are belly down in the dirt, helmets low, pressed behind broken mud walls. The radio hisses constant chatter, voices spiking with panic. Contact left, contact left. A private shouts, "They've got us bracketed, stay low." Sarah barks, voice sharp, commanding. She's not just another soldier. Here she's Captain Mitchell, sniper team leader, and every ranger in this kill zone is watching her for calm. The incoming fire rattles against their cover. The earth spits dust into their faces. One of her men specialist Davis clutches his helmet, eyes wide with fear. "Ma'am, they're closing in. What do we do?" Sarah locks eyes with him. Steady, grounded. "Breathe, Davis. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep your weapon up. I need your eyes on our right flank." Her tone cuts through the chaos, the same tone she used moments ago with Emily, calm under fire. Confidence contagious, she shoulders her M24 sniper rifle, chambering a round with smooth precision. The weapon feels like an extension of her body. Through the scope, she scans insurgents darting between shattered buildings, muzzle flashes sparking from a rooftop. She exhales, squeezes dot crack. One hostile drops, another ducks pinned, down. The rhythm of her shots controls the battlefield, breaking the enemy's confidence. On the radio, her RTO relays, Eagle 6. This is Reaper 1. Sniper is active, targets suppressed. Her voice follows, clipped and precise. Hold your sectors. We're not breaking today. We hold. The firefight stretches, relentless. Mortar whistle overhead. The concussion rattles Sarah's bones, dust choking the air. Her team looks to her again, searching for direction. Fear hangs heavy in their faces, and she steadies them. Always she shifts position, calculating range and wind, whispering adjustments. To her spotter, 3 clicks left. Elevation, point 2. Send it. Another round, another enemy silenced. A sergeant nearby mutters in awe. Captain Mitchell doesn't miss. But it isn't about the shot sits, about the eyes on her. Every ranger pinned in this chaos sees one truth. If she stays calm, they can 2-dot. And then, just as quickly as the memory seizes hurt, bleeds away. The fluorescent lights of the Texas convenience store hum back into being. The heat of Kandahar gives way to the cool draft of an air conditioner. The thundering of mortar fades into the low laughter of robbers. But Sarah isn't the same as before. Those ghosts didn't haunt her. They woke her up. She blinks, breath steady, gaze sharpened. The robbers don't notice. To them, she's still the old lady shopkeep, cowed and harmless, but now her instincts are awake. She sees their spacing, their weapons, their mistakes, every twitch, every gesture, every blind angle. Her sniper's mind draws lines through the room, arcs of fire, angles of cover, fields of vision. She calculates distance without effort. 12 feet to the counter, 9 to the aisle, 6 to the back door. She knows exactly how long it would take to close that space, disarm, dominate. Her pulse slows. Combat calm. The same heartbeat she carried in Kandahar. Emily glances up at her again, eyes desperate. Sarah leans the smallest fraction closer, whispering, "You're safe. I've got you. Just trust me." The girl nods, clinging to Sarah's composure like a lifeline. Across the store, one robber scratches his mask, restless. He shifts, eyes darting. Then he begins to slide sideways, step by step, skirting along the far aisle. Sarah's gaze locks on him instantly. Recognition flashes like lightning. His movement isn't random, it's deliberate. A slow, creeping, ARCA flanking maneuver. Her mind jerks back, overlaying Kandahar onto this very store. The memory of an insurgent trying to swing wide around her pinned platoon. She saw it, then saw the kill box forming, saw what her soldiers didn't, and she stopped it cold with a single shot. Now, here, it's happening again. The robber thinks he's clever, thinks no one notices his creeping sidestep, but Sarah sees it clear as day. He's maneuvering to get behind her and Emily, to cut off their retreat. Her lips tighten. They're not as stupid as they look. And if I let him finish that move, we're boxed in. The leader still barks at Emily, demanding money. The pistol man waves his gun, showing off. Neither notices their partner's calculated drift, but Sarah notices. Every instinct, every memory from Kandahar screams at her. Act now, or the flank closes. Her eyes flicker once, just once, to the back. Room door, the rifle case waits, and she knows it's only a matter of time before she's forced to pick it up again. The robbers think the store is theirs. They shout, curse, and brandish weapons with sloppy bravado, certain that fear alone will keep everyone in check. But Sarah Mitchell has been here before, different continent, different uniform, same math. Chaos always belongs to the undisciplined, until someone with training quietly takes it back. Her breathing steadies, her eyes scan, cataloguing. 2 robbers in the open, one drifting near the far aisle. Shelves stacked high with chips and soda. A cooler with reflective glass. A counter that could serve as partial cover if she got Emily low enough. Exits, front door chained by the robbers. Rear storage door still clear if they can reach it to anyone else. The store looks ordinary. To Sarah, it's a battlefield map. She leans subtly toward Emily, voice barely above a whisper. Green means stay. Red means move. Understand? Emily's lips tremble, but she nods. Green, red, got it. It's the simplest form of a Ranger brevity code, stripped down for a civilian teenager to remember. Sarah used it countless times in Afghanistan, compressing complex tactical decisions into single words that carried life or death weight. She shifts a candy rack just a few inches with her foot, creating a better line of sight toward the flanking robber. To anyone else, it's nothing. To her, it clears her field of fire. Did you know, Rangers never look at terrain the same way civilians do? Every object becomes cover, concealment, or dead space. A simple grocery aisle can be a fatal funnel or an ambush, lane depending on how you use it. The lead robber slams his fist on the counter. Hurry it up, old lady. Quit whispering. Sarah keeps her face neutral, hands slow and deliberate. She slides a stack of bills forward, all while nudging Emily gently with her elbow, guiding her behind a rack of beef jerky displays, thicker than it looks, enough to break line of sight if shooting starts. Emily swallows, eyes flicking between the guns and Sarah's calm expression. She doesn't fully understand what's happening, but she follows. Instinctively, she trusts. Sarah notices something, a glint on the hip of the second robber. Not the pistol, that's obvious. Something clipped to his belt. Small, black, with AN antenna. A radio. She narrows her eyes. The robber doesn't treat it like decoration. His hand hovers near it between gestures. Twice, it crackles faint static. That means they're not alone. Her stomach tightens not with fear, but calculation. If they've got comms, they've got more outside. Maybe a driver, maybe a lookout, maybe muscle waiting for a call. She masks the realization with a bored sigh, stacking more bills. But in her head, Kandahar comes back again. Insurgents, rarely. Worked alone. There was always a spotter, a trigger man, a runner. The same applies here. Emily whispers, just audible. What do we do? Sarah answers with calm precision, still sliding money. Green. Emily freezes, staying low, keeping eyes down, obedient. The code works. Sarah tilts her head, subtly, toward the flanking robber, watching his reflection in the cooler glass. He's restless, pacing, fingers tapping against the shotgun he carries too loosely. No trigger discipline, no muzzle awareness. Amateur. But amateurs are dangerous. They trip triggers they don't mean to, and their chaos gets people killed. Her eyes sweep again, angles, obstacles, timing. She notices the floor tiles, slick near the cooler where condensation drips, could be useful. One wrong step at the wrong moment, and a man with poor balance becomes her opening. Think 2 steps ahead. Always 2 steps. She shifts another display slightly with her hip, enough to give her a line of sight on the rear door. Subtle movements, almost invisible. Each one recalibrates the battlefield in her favor, and the robbers never notice. Did you? No. Rangers use silent hand signals to command squads in total darkness. A raised fist means stop. 2 fingers to the eyes, then to the left means enemy spotted, left. These signals keep a team alive without a word spoken. Sarah can't use hand signals. Emily doesn't know them, but she uses the same principle. Green and red. Simple, silent, effective. The robber with the radio suddenly taps it, muttering. Static spits out garbled words on the other end. He cups it with his hand, shielding the sound, but Sarah catches fragments, waiting. Truck. 5 minutes. Her blood runs cold. Truck. 5 minutes. This isn't a simple stick-up. This is coordinated. She doesn't let the fear show. Instead, she files it, compartmentalizes it. Bigger crew, possible reinforcements. This isn't just survival. Containment. Emily shifts nervously. Sarah squeezes her shoulder gently. Green, she whispers again. Steady, calm. Control the kid's fear before it unravels. The robbers laugh, distracted by their own bravado, but Sarah knows time is running thin. Once that radio call goes out, this situation escalates. She angles her body slightly, weight shifting toward the backroom door. Options form like puzzle pieces: cover, concealment, timing, force. Every possibility playing out in her head like she's back on patrol. The leader growls, slamming his weapon against the counter. Clock's ticking, Grandma. Don't make me. He's cut off by the radio man, snapping back toward him. We got 5 minutes. They're Kuman in 5. Sarah's pulse slows even further. Bigger crew confirmed. Emily looks at her, panic rising again. What does that mean? She whispers. Sarah meets her eyes, voice barely audible. Red's coming. Emily swallows hard, gripping the beef jerky rack for courage. The bell above the convenience store door doesn't ring when Diego Vargas enters. He makes sure of that. The 2 men who slip in first wedge it silent with practiced hands, weapons. Up, eyes scanning. Then comes Vargas' charcoal jacket, pressed slacks, polished boots that don't belong in a dusty roadside store. His presence changes the air. The shouting robbers fall silent, their bravado evaporating. Even the hum of the refrigerator feels muted, like the room itself recognizes who's in charge now. Sarah sees him before he even speaks. Tall, sharp-featured, movements deliberate. The scar near his temple, the signet ring on his finger details, she catalogues instantly. She knows him, and worse, he knows her. Vargas smiles, a predator's grin. Sarah Mitchell, I'll be damned. His voice is smooth, warm even, like an old friend greeting someone at a reunion. But his eyes burn cold, her pulse steadies, not from calm, but discipline. She doesn't flinch, doesn't blink. She gives him nothing. Inside, her mind flashes back. Afghanistan, cartel fingerprints showing up on weapon shipments funneled through black markets. Whispers of a man who brokered deals across continents, slippery enough that special operations never caught him. Diego Vargas. She remembers his name on briefings, his face circled in red dot. Now he's here, in front of her, smirking like fate. Itself delivered him. He tilts his head, circling slowly as if inspecting merchandise. Cartel intelligence told me you were washed up, retired, living quietly, teaching classes, a ghost. He gestures at the cash register, the shelves, Emily trembling behind her cover. And here you are, stuck in the middle of my little operation. One of his men chuckles nervously. Vargas silences him with a glance. Sarah keeps her voice even low. You should believe everything your intelligence tells you. He laughs. A short, sharp sound that makes the younger robbers shift uneasily. Still got fire. I like that. But Sarah doesn't let him see what's truly burning in her recognition. Memory, the classified briefings where her unit discussed him. The near misses, the men and women lost because Diego Vargas knew when to vanish. If he realizes how much she knows, how much she remembers, this ends in blood. Fast, Emily whispers faintly, Sarah. Who is he? Sarah doesn't answer. Her hand rests lightly against Emily's back, steadying her, the silent code again. Green Dot Vargas notices the gesture. His smile widens. Protecting civilians, always the noble soldier. But tell me, Sarah, what's your plan this time? You going to shoot your way out? Or do you wait for cavalry that never comes? He leans closer, lowering his voice so only she can hear. Because I promise you, there is no QRF waiting outside. Only my people, and they don't miss. Her jaw tightens. She doesn't break eye contact. This isn't Kandahar. This is worse. Here, the battlefield is filled with civilians. He finally straightens, clapping his hands once. The sharp sound jolts the room. Enough wasting time. His tone changes, colder now. Insurance. That's how you win, Sarah. Not bullets. Leverage. He points not at Sarah, not at the cash, but directly at Emily. Take the girl. The words slice the air. Emily freezes, eyes wide, breath caught in her throat. Sarah's stomach knots, but her face remains stone. Inside, she feels the old instinct flare like a weapon locking into battery. This is the moment she's been bracing forth, the moment the line between waiting and acting vanishes. One of Vargas's men steps forward, hand outstretched toward Emily. The distraction happens fast. A dropped bottle, glass shattering on tile. One of Vargas's men cursing loud enough to cover footsteps. Sarah doesn't wait. Years of training compress into instinct. She moves low, fluid, slipping behind the candy rack, then through the narrow gap into the storeroom. Her boots make no sound against the scuffed linoleum. Heart hammering, lungs tight. She slides into the back office and shuts the door with deliberate care. The chaos of the storefront muffles to a dull roar. She's alone, for the first time since Vargas entered. The battlefield is hers to shape. The office smells of dust and oil. A flickering fluorescent hums overhead. Sarah's eyes lock onto the corner, a nondescript metal cabinet. Its paint chipped, its purpose forgotten by everyone except her. Inside, hidden beneath folders and a stack of inventory sheets, lies the case, the rifle case. Her fingers tremble as she pulls it free. Matte black, heavy, its corners scarred from years of deployment. She lays it on the desk and freezes. For a heartbeat, she just stares at it. She hasn't touched this weapon since her last rotation overseas, since the day she hung up the uniform and told herself she'd never need it again. But here it is, waiting. Her breath shudders out. She unlatches the case. Click, click. The sound is sharp in the stillness, like old ghosts waking. The lid lifts. The Remington M24, her rifle, custom stock, fitted to her shoulder length. The worn cheek rest, still marked by hours on Overwatch. The barrel is clean, oiled, maintained with the same precision she demanded in the field. Every ranger knew their weapon was more than a tool. It was a lifeline. Her hand hovers above it. Muscles tense, then falter. A flicker of doubt gnaws at her. Do I still have it? The patience, the steadiness, the will to kill when it matters. Her fingers finally close around the grip. The old texture presses against her palm, rough and familiar, and the weight anchors her like nothing else can. 1, 2, 3. Each round clicks into place. Her breathing slows. Her pulse, steadies. She slides the magazine home, chambers the first round. The bolt slams forward with a solid, unforgiving clack. It echoes through the room like a promise. Her eyes close. The Ranger Creed isn't recited, it's lived. But tonight, she lets herself whisper the words. Quiet, fierce, like a prayer and a battle cry bound as one. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I will never fail my comrades. Her voice is steady now, forged by memory and steel. Resolve hardens in her chest. She isn't just protecting Emily anymore. She's standing against Vargas, against every shadow of his cartel that crept into this quiet town. And for the first time since this nightmare began, Sarah feels the battlefield tilt back in her favor. The world goes black in an instant. The hum of fluorescent lights dies, plunging the storefront into suffocating darkness. The robbers curse in Spanish, voices sharp with panic. Somewhere near the front, metal racks topple in the confusion. But Sarah doesn't flinch. Darkness is an ally. She's lived with before on rooftops in Mosul, in Afghan valleys under moonless skies. She knows what others forget. Panic grows in the dark. Discipline wins in it. Her rifle rests steady against her shoulder, muzzle locked down, safety off. Her breathing slows, every inhale measured, every exhale quiet. The hunt begins. Emily's terrified breathing cuts through the silence, sharp and uneven. She's pressed against the wall, a robber looming over her. His silhouette is faint, a darker shadow against the black. His AKM slung carelessly, barrel-dipping dot. Sarah adjusts her cheek weld. The reticle burns green through the night optic mounted on her M24, Crosshairs. Steady on center mass, he doesn't even know he's already dead. One squeeze controlled the rifle cracks, deafening in the enclosed space. The recoil drives back, into her shoulder, solid and grounding. The round finds its mark. The robber jerks violently, slammed against the wall, then crumples. His weapon clatters to the tile. Silence follows for half a breath, then chaos erupts. Gunfire explodes in every direction. Rounds punch blindly through shelves. Candy bags bursting into confetti. Sparks fly as a bullet ricochets off the steel doorframe. The gang is firing wild. No discipline, no fire control, just fear. Sarah stays still. Muzzle discipline saves her life. She never flashes her position twice. She slides low, using the desk as cover. Steady hands working the bolt. The brass casing ejects, pinging softly. Against the floor, her thoughts are cold, focused. Don't waste ammo. Every round must count. Let them burn through theirs. Let them scream and reveal their positions. Through the optic movement. Another robber, crouched by the counter, trying to find targets he can't see. His head bobs once. Over cover, Sarah exhales. The second shot cracks. His skull snaps back, instant drop. To Dawn, Madre de Dios. She's hunting us. One panicked voice shouts. Sarah hears the fear in them. The gang that swaggered in with rifles and cruelty is unraveling, one trigger pull at a time. She can almost feel the battlefield shift. Emily sobs quietly, trying to muffle herself in the corner. Sarah doesn't dare look her way yet. Protecting her means keeping the wolves afraid, off balance. Bleeding numbers until Vargas himself is forced into the open. Another robber shouts orders, spread out, find her. But his voice trembles. No chain of command here, no discipline. Just pray. Sarah works the bolt again. Third round chambered. I am not the shopkeeper you thought I was. I am the ghost you never saw coming. The darkness presses in. Acrid gunpowder smoke stings Sarah's nose. Heat from discharged rounds clings to the air, mixing with the metallic temps of blood already spilled. Her body reacts the way it always did on mission's palms dry, pulse steady. Fear is gone, replaced by muscle memory. The mission is clear. A robber charges recklessly, muzzle spraying red tracers. He's silhouetted by the brief spark of his own weapon. Rookie mistake. Sarah tracks. The light, calm against the storm. One smooth trigger pull. The rifle barks. The robber folds mid-stride, weapons skittering across the floor. Panic spreads like wildfire. They can't see her. One yells, she's in the walls. Another cries, no, she's not in the walls. She's right here, methodical, precise, erasing them one by one. Sarah lets the silence stretch after the shot. Psychological warfare. She wants them stewing in their fear, imagining her eyes on them. Make them waste energy, make them crack. The sound of a magazine slamming into a rifle echoes across the room, fingers shaking. No discipline, Sarah smiles. Grimly in the dark. This isn't just survival anymore. This is war, and she's reclaiming it, shot by shot. The store feels smaller, now choked with smoke, littered brass, and the echo of gunfire. Shadows stretch long between the aisles. Every step, every breath carries weight. Sarah presses her back against a rack of canned goods. Rifle angled low, CQB. Close quarters, battle. The kind of fight where hesitation kills. She's done this before, in villages, in compounds, in corridors, where the distance between life and death was measured in feet, not miles. Her breathing slows. She counts, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Calm heart, steady hands. Fear is a liability, and she shed it years ago. Somewhere in the darkness, a boot scrapes tile. They're moving, hunting. Only Sarah's the better predator, Emily. Crouches low just a few feet behind, hands trembling against her jeans. but her eyes sharp, alert track movement Sarah cannot see. From her position, she can glimpse down the parallel aisle through gaps in the shelves. 2. Left side. Emily whispers, voice shaking but precise. Sarah gives the faintest nod, adjusting her angle. That single cue turns Emily from terrified hostage into something more vital, a spotter. Not trained like a ranger, but willing, and that counts. The robbers whisper harsh commands in Spanish. They're sweeping the aisles in pairs, barrels forward. Muzzles jittery. No coordination, no discipline. Sarah smirks. Sloppy, overconfident. She shifts, low and deliberate, controlling her silhouette. In CQB, exposure is death. Angles win fights. One robber rounds the corner too fast. Sarah fires a controlled double tap. The suppressed crack of the M24 barks low, and the man drops before his brain even processes the ambush. His partner yells and fires blind, rounds chewing holes in cereal boxes. Sarah angles away before he can track her muzzle flash. She's already 2 steps down the opposite aisle, using cover. Reloading smoothly, the second robber pushes forward, shouting, "La tengo aquí." I've got her here. Emily whispers urgently, he's moving right, fast. Sarah kneels, aims low, and fires a ricochet shot. The round skips off the tile, catching the robber in the ankle. He screams, collapsing. Before he can recover, she finishes it with a precise follow-up shot. Emily gasps. "You bounced it." Sarah doesn't look back. Controlled angles. Every surface is a weapon if you know it. The battlefield shifts again. The remaining gunmen shout louder, desperate now. They're trying to sound brave, but the panic seeps through. Their leader, Vargas, curses them into motion, his voice a low growl from somewhere near the front doors. He's pulling them like a leash, trying to rally control. But Sarah hears something else, boots moving faster, retreating. Vargas isn't pressing the fight. He's testing escape routes, she tenses. That man isn't just another thug. He's the kind who'll regroup, call in reinforcements, and turn this small war into a siege. She can't let him slip, not yet. Sarah right side, Emily hisses, another robber, too close. Just feet away, rounding into their aisle. Sarah reacts on instinct. She steps into him, rifle too long for such tight quarters. She transitions smoothly, letting it hang on the sling, drawing her sidearm in one fluid motion. The Sig Sauer snaps. Twice 2 chest hits, center mass. That man crumples at her feet. Sarah whispers, half to herself, half to Emily, "That's how you clear in tight space." Rifle for distance, pistol for breath. Emily swallows, adrenaline making her words stick. But her eyes never leave Sarah's. She's starting to understand. This isn't random luck. This is training. This is war experience. And Sarah is terrifyingly good at it. The store is quieter now. Only 2 left inside plus Vargas. Sarah raises her hand, signaling Emily to stay put. Emily nods, crouching lower eyes, scanning the shelves. The fear hasn't vanished, but something else replaces it. Trust. Sarah advances, slicing the pie at each aisle corner, muzzle steady eyes scanning high and low. Each step is deliberate, boots rolling softly, avoiding the crunch of glass shards littering the floor. A faint click, safety disengaged. Ahead, she freezes, then angles her mirror. Square, clipped to her vest. Through it, she catches the faint outline of a robber aiming down the aisle, waiting for her silhouette. She grins. Rookie. Sarah pulls a soda can from the floor, tosses it gently across the aisle. It clatters loudly. The robber takes the bait, opening fire where the sound came from. Sarah leans out opposite and fires once. One more body hits the ground. Now only one remains inside. And Vargas, Emily whispers, "I can't see him." The big one, he's gone quiet. Sarah's jaw tightens. Vargas isn't panicking. He's calculating, which makes him dangerous. Gunfire erupts suddenly from the front doors, short bursts, controlled. Suppressive fire, not panic fire. Sarah ducks instinctively, glass exploding around her. Vargas isn't retreating blind. He's laying down cover to mask his movement. Sarah bolts forward, pushing through the aisles, Emily scrambling after her. But by the time she reaches the entryway, the night air is already swallowing Vargas's shadow. The leader slips into the darkness outside, shouting orders in. "Got good men, a couple deputies on the way," he admits. "But they're green." "Then I'll take command," she says. "Matter of fact, you cover me, and we'll keep this line from collapsing." Braddock hesitates. Then, seeing the iron in her stance, he nods. "Roger that." Emily edges forward, whispering, "What do we do?" Sarah points to the aisles. "First, we establish fields of fire." The darkness outside, shouting orders in Spanish. The faint sound of engines answers back reinforcements being called. Sarah shoulders her rifle, scope sweeping the lot. Too late. He's gone. The night explodes with headlights. 2 pickup trucks scream into the lot, engines growling, tires spitting gravel, cartel reinforcements. Gun barrels jut from windows, silhouettes bristling with rifles. Their shouts in Spanish cut through the smoke taunts, promises of blood. Inside the store, Sarah exhales slowly, steadying her pulse. She's seen this before. The enemy building momentum, pressing fear like a weapon. But she's not afraid. She's calculating. Numbers don't decide a fight. Position does. Sheriff Braddock barrels through the back entrance, shotgun raised. His uniform is dust-streaked, his face a map of strain. He scans the chaos-broken shelves, bodies sprawled. Emily, crouched pale and wide-eyed, realizes he's walked into something bigger than a robbery. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. He mutters, then louder, "Sarah, you all right?" Sarah doesn't look back. Her eyes stay fixed on the parking lot, where Vargas steps from the lead truck like a general on parade. She answers flat, controlled, "I'm fine, you're late." Stiffens at the tone. He's the law here, but in this moment, Sarah radiates authority, the kind forged overseas, not behind a badge. "They've got numbers," Braddock says, voice cracking. "We're outgunned." Sarah turns, eyes sharp as razors. "Not if we fight smart." Sheriff over her tone, shifts, teaching mode, soldier. 2 civilian. A field of fire is the area a shooter can effectively cover with their weapon. No overlap, no gaps. Every approach to this store gets covered by one of us. If they move, they die. She gestures upward, toward the shattered office. The window above the checkout counter. "I'll take Overwatch. From there, I can control the lot. Sheriff, you anchor the left flank." Emily, Sarah looks at her, softer now. "You're my spotter again." Eyes open, ears sharper. "Call what you see." Emily nods quickly, fear mixing. With pride, she's part of this fight now. The trucks grind to a halt. Cartel soldiers spill out, boots slamming the pavement, AKs, shotguns, a few AR platforms mixed in. At least a dozen fighters fan out in a half circle, Vargas directing with sweeping hand signals. Braddock swallows hard. That's a small army. Sarah. Chambers around, the metallic clack cutting through the tension. Then we cut them down to size. She moves fast, climbing the counter, slipping into the elevated position above. From there, she's a sniper again, back in her element. The first cartel fighter sprints forward, crouching behind a parked sedan. Sarah breathes, slow and steady. She squeezes one suppressed shot. The man drops, lifeless. The others freeze. Then shouting erupts. Francotirador. Sniper. Panic ripples through the formation. Braddock fires his shotgun from the doorway, the blast echoing like thunder. Emily shouts over the noise, to moving left, fast. Sarah pivots, tracking, controlled breathing. One shot, then another. Both. Targets collapse in the open. Inside the store, the air is electric with gunpowder and adrenaline. Every heartbeat is a countdown. But Vargas doesn't panic. He crouches by his truck, scanning with predatory calm. He knows he's not facing amateurs. He barks orders, rallying his men. They spread wider now, using vehicles, angling for flanks. Professional tactics. He's adjusting dot. Emily spots it, panic in her whisper. They're splitting, trying too. Box us in. Sarah nods grimly. Exactly what I'd do. Braddock growls, pumping his shotgun. Then what's the play? Sarah's eyes harden. We hold. We deny them entry. And if they want this place, they'll pay for every inch in blood. For a moment, the firefight stalls, silence, heavy and tense. Then Vargas signals. The cartel charges again. Gunfire rips through the night. Rounds hammer the storefront, glass, exploding inward. Bullets chew through shelves, sparking against metal cans. Sarah shifts, controlled and cold, cutting down to more before they can breach the doors. Braddock lays down buckshot, each blast shaking the walls. Emily trembles but doesn't falter. Calling targets, spotting movements Sarah can't see. One by the ice machine, another low, driver's side. Sarah adjusts instantly, firing precise. Surgical shots. Her world narrows to sight picture, breath, trigger squeeze. Then something changes. A flicker of orange in the parking lot. Not muzzle flash. Fire dot. Sarah narrows her eyes just in time to see a cartel fighter light a rag-stuffed bottle. The flame dances wild against the glass. Her stomach drops. Molotov cocktails. Sheriff, she yells. Incoming incendiaries. The first bottle arcs high, smashing through the broken window. Fire explodes across the linoleum, licking up shelves. Off-paper goods. Emily screams, shielding her face from the blast of heat. Braddock curses, stomping at flames with his boot. Smoke billows instantly, choking, clawing at lungs. And outside, more bottles ignite in waiting hands. Vargas grins, teeth white against the firelight. He's found his weapon, not bullets, but fire. The store burns like a beacon in the night. Flames climb the shelves, smoke churns against the ceiling. Every breath tastes of ash. Wood groans under the heat, threatening collapse. Sarah, we've got to move. Emily coughs, voice ragged. Her eyes sting, her hands tremble as she shields her mouth with a torn sleeve. Sarah keeps her voice calm, firm, the same tone she once used to lead Marines through burning villages overseas. Rooftop. Now, it's the only high ground left. Hammers at a growing fire with a blanket, sweat pouring down his brow. Go, I'll hold down here till the others arrive. Sarah hesitates, eyes locking with his. He sees it, her instinct, to never leave a man behind. But she nods once, decisive. We'll cover you from above. She grips Emily's shoulder, guiding her through the smoke-choked stairwell. Each step upward feels like climbing into thin survival, lungs clawing for air, boots striking against metal. The world below them fades into an orange hellscape. They burst onto the rooftop. The cool night air slams into their faces, sharp and bitter after the suffocating smoke. Emily gasps, sucking it in like a drowning survivor. From here, the view is war. The lot glows red in the firelight, shadows of cartel gunmen darting between vehicles. Muzzles spark like fireflies. Trucks idle, engines growling. Vargas's army is tightening the noose. Sarah drops to a knee, rifle ready. Fields of fire, same as before. She sweeps the scope across the parking lot, calculating sectors. Elevated, she can see everything. She can kill everything. Emily crawls beside her, clutching binoculars, trying to steady shaking hands. To buy the red pickup, one moving toward the back fence. Got it. Sarah exhales, squeezes the trigger. A gunman folds instantly. Another shot sickened one down. The fight tilts again. Elevation turns hunters into prey. Rounds whistle up from below, ricocheting off the rooftop edge with sharp metallic snaps. Sarah pulls Emily lower. Stay flat. Don't silhouette yourself. Her rifle bucks, steady, controlled. She cuts through advancing fighters like scissors through paper. Each crack is deliberate. No wasted rounds. No wasted motion, Emily whispers. Adrenaline trembling in her voice. They can't touch us up here. But Sarah's eyes stay hard. She knows the truth. No position is invincible. Elevated ground buys time, not safety. And men like Vargas don't play fair. Down below, Vargas crouches in the shadows of the lead truck. His eyes track the rooftop. Like a hawk, his lips curl into a grin. She thinks like a soldier, he muses. Predictable, he signals to two men, pointing toward the rear ladder of the building. The move is quiet, surgical. The kind of tactic he's learned fighting cops and rival gangs alike. Don't charge the stronghold head on. Go around it. As Sarah fires from above, she doesn't see the shadows moving along the back wall. A pause. Between shots, smoke drifts. The lot goes eerily quiet. Too quiet. Sarah's instincts prick. Silence in combat is never peace. It's a trap being set. She whispers, they're regrouping. Something's coming. Emily fidgets, her pulse hammering. What do we do? Sarah's jaw tightens. We wait, we watch, we don't blink. The girl tries to mimic Sarah's calm, but her knuckles are white against the binoculars. Her heart isn't just racing, it's sprinting for its life. Then, Motion 3 cartel soldiers break cover, sprinting across open ground. Sarah pivots, scopes, and drops two before the third slides behind a dumpster. Gunfire erupts again. Bullets hammer the rooftop, shards of gravel stinging their skin. Sarah presses lower, forcing Emily down. For a moment, it feels like control is slipping. But Sarah steadies herself, one breath at a time. We hold. We always hold. Her scope finds the dumpster edge. She waits. She knows patience kills as sure as bullets. The third man peeks, and Sarah fires. Another threat neutralized. Emily lets out a shaky laugh of relief. We're winning, Sarah, we're... Her words cut off. A sound behind them. Metal creak. Boot on gravel. Sarah freezes. Her blood chills. The rooftop ladder, slowly, she pivots. rifles still raised toward the lot. Emily turns with her, confusion dawning from the shadows behind them. A figure rises. Calm, silent. A pistol glints in the firelight. Vargas. He's closer than any enemy has ever been to Sarah since the war. 10 feet, no cover. His weapon aimed square at her back. Sarah's heartbeat roars in her ears. Emily gasps, eyes wide, realization flooding her face. Vargas's voice is smooth, mocking, dripping with satisfaction. You fight well, soldado, but you forgot one thing. He steps forward, pistol steady, grin widening. The hunter always circles behind the sniper. The rooftop burns with more than fire. It burns with rage, exhaustion, and the weight of unfinished wars. Smoke rolls. Across the night sky, glowing orange from the inferno below. The air tastes of ash and cordite, each breath cutting like glass. Sarah stands. Rifle discarded after Vargas slapped it from her hands. She squares herself, boots spread, chest heaving. Her eyes are sharp, though every muscle screams fatigue. Across from her, Vargas grins like a predator who's cornered his prey. Old soldier, he sneers, circling with slow, deliberate steps. His pistol hangs at his side, no rush to use it. You should have stayed in your rocking chair, Rangers. Forgotten relics. The words sting deeper than the smoke in her lungs. Forgotten relic. She hears her father's voice in memory, raspy but steady. Rangers never die. Sarah, they live on in the fight. She lowers her stance, weight balanced. No witty retort, no wasted words. Just focus. Vargas lunges first. He moves fast for a man. His size, shoulder slamming into her chest. The impact rattles her ribs, drives her back against the gravel. Pain explodes through her side, but she rolls with it, absorbing the momentum like she was taught decades ago. He swings a heavy fist. She ducks under, counters with an elbow strike to his jaw. The crack is sharp, satisfying, but Vargas barely flinches. He grins wider, tasting blood. Still got some fight, he mocks, spitting red onto the gravel. But you're slower, softer. Sarah ignores the taunt. She shifts to Ranger, combatives, close quarters battle, perfected through repetition. Palm strike, knee drive, forearm smash, each motion precise, drilled into her bones from Fort Benning to the desert. For a moment, the rhythm is hers. Vargas stumbles back, arms up to shield, but then he roars, charging like a bull, and his roar. Strength overwhelms technique. He lifts her, slamming her hard onto the rooftop. Gravel cuts into her back, air knocked from her lungs. Her vision tunnels, stars blur overhead. Vargas straddles her chest, fist cocked high. Rangers lead the way. He laughs, voice thick with venom. Not tonight. Tonight, you die forgotten. The punch drops. She twists at the last second, his fist slams into gravel, bones crunching. His howl fills the night. Sarah seizes the opening, driving her knee upward into his ribs. The grunt that follows tells her something cracked. They scramble, rolling. Across the rooftop, smoke swirling around them like a shroud. Firelight flickers against Vargas's knife. When did he draw it? The blade glints, sharp and merciless. Sarah's chest tightens. Not fear, resolve. She knows what must be done. Her hand finds the worn leather sheath on her belt, the one that belonged to her father. The Ranger, knife steel, honed by time, by history, by blood. She draws it, the weight familiar, grounding. Vargas notices, and his grin falters. That toy, you think steel will save you. No, Sarah whispers, her voice low, steady. But it'll finish you. They clash knife against knife. Sparks fly with each parry, steel shrieking in protest. Vargas hacks wildly, fueled by rage. Sarah moves precise, surgical, conserving energy. Every block drains him. Every counter bleeds his momentum. But he's still stronger. He shoves forward, their blades locking, faces inches apart. His breath reeks of blood and smoke. You're done, the edger. Accept it. Her eyes blaze. Rangers don't accept defeat. A sudden twist. She redirects his force, stepping inside his guard. Her father's knife flashes upward, slicing across his forearm. Blood sprays. Vargas roars, staggering back, clutching the wound. But he's not finished. He barrels forward again, fury overcoming pain. His knife thrusts toward her chest. Time slows. Sarah pivots, sidesteps, guiding his momentum past her. Her arm snakes around, driving her blade home deep final straight beneath his ribs. Vargas gasps, eyes wide in disbelief. The grin is gone. The predator undone. Sarah leans close, lips brushing his ear. Her whisper is steady, reverent. Rangers, lead the way. She twists the blade, pulling it free as he collapses to the gravel. Blood pooling dark beneath him. Silence. For the first time tonight, silence. Only the crackle of fire below, the distant echo of sirens approaching. Sarah stands over the fallen cartel leader, chest heaving, knife dripping. Her hands shake not from fear, but from release. Years of ghosts, years of battles survived, all. Culminating in this moment, Emily appears at the rooftop hatch, eyes wide at the sight. Sarah, is it over? Sarah looks down at Vargas's still form, then at the knife in her hand. She wipes it clean against her torn sleeve, sliding it back into its sheath. Her voice is calm, but heavy with the weight of truth. No, this was just one war. There's always another. She turns to Emily, fire reflecting in her eyes. But tonight, we held. The rooftop is quiet now. Too quiet. Only the low roar of fire below, the faint wail of sirens growing closer, and the occasional pop of collapsing timber. The battle is over. But the echoes of violence still hang in the air, heavy and unshakable. Sarah stands alone at the edge of the roof, chest heaving, ranger knife still wet in her grip. Her arms tremble from adrenaline. Her legs feel like lead. For a moment she's not sure if she's still on the battlefield or back in some desert years ago. Then the hatch slams open. Boots on metal. Sheriff Braddock climbs through, flashlight in one hand, service pistol in the other, deputies trailing behind. Their weapons sweep the rooftop until they fall on the blood-stained gravel where Vargas lies motionless, clear. A deputy shouts. Braddock lowers his pistol. His eyes lock on Sarah. He doesn't speak. Doesn't need to. The weight of what? She just did as written in the set of his jaw. The rare respect in his eyes. Below, survivors are herded out of the ruined storefront. Deputies move fast, checking pulses, zip-tying cartel gunmen still breathing, guiding civilians into the open. Night air. The parking lot becomes a makeshift triage zone. Red and blue lights washing across smoke-streaked faces. Emily breaks from the crowd the second she sees Sarah descend the ladder. Her arms wrap around the older woman with a desperate strength. Sarah stiffens, at first combat reflex, still coursing through her. But then she exhales, lets the rifle slip from her shoulder, and holds Emily close. "I thought I lost you," Emily whispers, voice shaking. Sarah says nothing. Words feel too fragile. Instead, she rests her forehead against Emily's, a silent promise that tonight they survived. The radios crackle with overlapping chatter. Dispatch. Multiple suspects in custody. EMS rolling in now. Copy that. Perimeter secure. Repeat. Perimeter secure. Sheriff, got reporters staging up on Main Street. Words spreading fast. And it is spreading. Before dawn even breaks, phones are buzzing, news vans pulling into town. The headline writes itself. Local store owner stops cartel robbery single-handed. Braddock overhears the chatter, glances back at Sarah. For months, he'd written her off as a liability, a washed-up ranger who drank too much coffee and carried too much past. But tonight he sees what the townsfolk always missed: discipline, courage, the will to stand when everyone else falls. He steps closer, voice low. "You did good, Sergeant." It's the first time he's ever called her by rank. By sunrise, the fire is under control. The store is ruined, windows blown out, walls charred black. Yet in the wreckage stands Sarah, quietly field stripping her rifle on the tailgate of her truck. No ceremony, no crowd, just careful motions, piece by piece, until the weapon is clean, oiled, and locked away in its case. Her hands linger on the steel for a moment. This rifle has been her shadow desert nights, foreign battlefields, and now this quiet American town. But she closes the case with finality, the snap of the latch sounding louder than gunfire. Emily watches from a few steps away. So, what happens now? Sarah exhales slowly. Her eyes scan the horizon, the quiet town she once thought she'd left behind. She doesn't answer directly. Instead, she places the rifle case in the truck bed, brushes dust from her sleeve, and says, "Now we live, but the town will not let it end so simply by afternoon." Word has spread statewide. Reporters flood Main Street. Cameras roll as neighbors speak Sarah's name with reverence, calling her protector, guardian, hero. No longer the washed-up vet who kept to herself. No longer the ghost behind the counter. Vindication, hard dash earned. And yet, as Sarah stands outside the ruined store with Emily at her side, her expression is unreadable. She doesn't bask in the praise, doesn't smile for the cameras, because she knows what the headlines don't. Wars never really end. They just change shape. A deputy approaches, offering her a cup of black coffee in a paper cup. "Ma'am," he says respectfully, "they're already calling you the woman who saved the county." Sarah takes the cup, nods once. "I didn't save a county," she mutters. "I saved my own." Sheriff Braddock joins her, hands on his belt, watching the reporters gather. His tone is low, almost conspiratorial. "This story's bigger than you realize. Vargas was just one head of the snake. You drew blood. Don't be surprised if others come looking." Sarah sips her coffee, the bitter taste grounding her. Her gaze hardens, not in fear but readiness. Then they'll find the same thing Vargas did. She sets the cup on the truck, turns her back on the cameras, and walks toward Emily, toward what's left of home.